Good, happy Wednesday morning, January 2nd, 2018. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Franklin celebrates first day of 2019 with kayaking on Winnipesaukee River. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Hovering around zero. The cold was a big concern. This year, there's another issue. Overnight rains had the Winnipesaukee River and Franklin running as high as people could remember for this time of year.
Oh, it's pumping. This is a real juicy one today.
Perfect for kayaking, providing you know what you're doing. Alan Soika was watching his son John run the rapids, but wasn't planning on joining him.
I brought my boat, but I'll do the upper, not the lower. Way too big for me.
John's mother was also watching, but wasn't worried.
I'm so used to it. He does the big stuff and loves it. So I don't worry. He's got the talent. He can handle it.
John Soika says the river was at the best level he's ever run it at, despite a few mishaps.
I flipped a few times, but rolled up pretty quick. I haven't been in my boat for a few months, but it was awesome. It was a great way to get back into it.
And the key for running the rapids in conditions like this?
You got to really be watching, reading the river ahead of where you're going, and you got to be careful because there's a dam right there.
Michael Lewis says after seeing posts about the event for years, he had to give it a try.
This is just gorgeous. I mean, the weather is beautiful today. It's just, we got sun starting to come out, so I just love getting out. You got to be outside.
And even for those who don't want to get wet, there is something to do.
It's really to welcome anybody that in the community to come and have fun.
The event draws people from all over the Northeast, and the hope is they'll come back in different times of the year to enjoy other outdoor activities. In Franklin, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man arrested after crashing truck into Portsmouth restaurant. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Police say, as you said, that this could have been much worse, and the damage at the restaurant, this is where the destructive path ended. It's boarded up at the moment, but the owner hopes to reopen soon, and here's what police had to say about this incident. 50-year-old Aaron Marconi posting bail from his hospital room after police say he was under the influence and drove this smashed pickup truck on 3 wheels down a busy Portsmouth street on New Year's Eve.
It was dragging sparks, debris all along Islington Street.
Allegedly crashing into parked cars and businesses before an Uber driver held him at gunpoint until officers arrived.
I think this Good Samaritan's actions definitely stopped further damage and probably averted a tragedy.
As people went downtown for the first night celebration, nearby police say Marconi hit 2 cars, then damaged this Dunkin' Donuts before slamming into Nikki's Banh Mi and Darlene's Subs.
Shocking. Shocking, because we were hit on the other side of the building not long ago. And
the restaurant's owner is grateful no one was hurt.
everything else could be, worked on, fixed, but you can't fix a life.
Police say 2 Good Samaritans followed Marconi, trying to end the danger by blocking him at the restaurant. Marconi allegedly threatened to kill one of them. That's when the Uber driver pulled the gun.
It was legally owned. He abided by all, New Hampshire state laws. He felt threatened, and he was keeping the suspect at bay until police could respond.
Marconi charged with DWI, drug possession, and there could be new charges.
Well, what do? You cry or you just, try to be positive. In 2019, I'm hoping that it gets better.
There are also several apartments in this building, which investigators say is structurally okay. Marconi will face a judge next week, and police would like to hear from anyone else who may have been impacted yesterday. Reporting live in Portsmouth, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Looking ahead to New Hampshire 2019 politics. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Right off the bat in 2019, one of the most pressing questions of the early part of the year will be the career plans of U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen. While her re-election isn't until 2020, Senate campaigns tend to get ramped up in the year prior. We're told the senator is making up her mind on this topic during the holiday season. It's safe to say top New Hampshire Democrats would be surprised if she doesn't seek a third term. The follow-up to this question is, if Shaheen runs, who runs against her? Governor Chris Sununu would be a strong challenger, but in the past, he's thrown buckets of cold water on the idea of going to D.C., like in this interview from 2016.
I have no interest in ever going to Washington, whether it's Congress, Senate. I don't have the tolerance for that. I don't trust much what comes out of Washington, D.C.
Good luck to anyone who wants to predict a vote in the New Hampshire House, but odds are the newly elected Democratic House and Senate will pass legislation to legalize marijuana. Governor Sununu will veto that bill, so the big question becomes, are the votes there to overturn that veto? Keep in mind, last year a commission studied the issue and left a policy blueprint that could be used to make legalization work.
Our job was to provide the legislature information to base their decision on when and if. And there is going to be a bill. I've been told already that there is going to be a House bill.
One of the biggest questions we're likely to be pondering in the year ahead is whether Secretary of State Bill Gardner will be moving up the date of the first-in-the-nation primary. In 2020, California's primary is on Super Tuesday in March, meaning its early voting could begin in early February, a possible infringement on New Hampshire's first-in-the-nation status. In the past, Secretary Gardner has won these battles, threatening to hold the primary vote as early as December. When it comes to setting a date, this soundbite from 2007, when Michigan was the threat, could stand in for the next 11 months.
So we'll just wait and see a little longer.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. We'll have to wait and see on if the primaries will be moved earlier. Arrests made in connection with fire at vacant hotel in Twin Mountain. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Following some breaking news that took place overnight, an arrest has been made after a massive fire at a former Twin Mountain hotel. The fire started late Sunday night at the former Grand View Lodge Hotel, burning for several hours and completely destroying that building. 30-year-old Richard Vaughn of Carroll was arrested yesterday in connection with the fire. He faces arson, criminal trespassing, and breach of bail charges and is due in court tomorrow.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Minimum marriage age raised in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Monica Hernandez.
Cassandra Levesque is celebrating a victory tonight.
We can't allow kids to get married. They're still kids at 13 and 14.
For the last 2 years, Levesque has fought to change the state law that allowed girls as young as 13 and boys as young as 14 to get married. It's why at age 19 she became a state representative. Thanks to her work starting New Year's Day, the minimum age to marry is now 16.
I think that it's going in a positive direction. I think that there's a lot of changes happening, and I'm very excited to be a part of that change.
The effort started as a Girl Scout project, but for Levesque, it's personal.
I also have child marriage in my family.
The fight for change inspired by her grandmother and great-grandmother, both married at 16. And it's not just a thing of the past. The state says nearly 800 minors were married between 1989 and 2016, including a 13-year-old bride in 2013. Levesque says she regularly hears from child brides.
It makes a huge difference for me to want to make it even more possible for kids to have a chance to grow up and be a kid.
Raising the minimum marriage age to 16 was a compromise. Levesque says she's not satisfied yet.
No matter how long it takes me, I'll keep fighting for it to be 18.
Levesque says she's already talking with other state reps about raising the minimum marriage age to 18. A bill to do that failed several years ago, though, with opponents citing teen pregnancy or teenagers about to be deployed for military service. Anyone getting married under the age of 18 needs parental consent. Live in the studio, Monica Hernandez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. European stock market opens lower as losses into 2019. European shares fell at the open on Wednesday as traders struggled to shake off negative sentiment that plunged global markets in late 2018. U.S. fires tear gas into Mexico as migrants attempt to cross border into San Diego. U.S. border authorities fired tear gas into Mexico on Monday night when a group of roughly 150 migrants attempted to illegally cross the border into San Diego. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.